So dudes, Jake here. Today we're back on the 92 F1 build. As you saw in that intro, Christian got the reservoir mounted for the radiator, so let's check that out. This is what Christian ended up making right here. It's just a little plate mounted off this main tube, and he just has a little bend in it, and then it's bolted in. This is a CBR overflow reservoir, which it's CBR because that's what everything else is, all the coolers. Right now, Christian and I are working on the exhaust. If you remember in the last video, Christian got started on that. We were waiting on the mufflers and the tips, but all that's here now. Here's our muffler setup right here. It's a Borla XR1, and it goes into this huge 4-inch tip, which is way bigger than we thought it was going to be. As you can see, it's almost as big as the body of the Borla itself. This morning, Christian and I went to IMS and to Pet Boys and to O'Reilly's, and that was to get some stainless filler to be able to weld the exhaust. And we had to go to Pet Boys to get some exhaust clamps, and unfortunately they only had 2, so we had to go to O'Reilly's as well and get 2 more. These are them, just your basic exhaust clamps. That's all you need. Unfortunately, they only had 3 of one kind, so we had to get 1 of the other. But they all look the same, so it's not a big deal. While I was talking, Christian was working on getting this piece off. This is the piece of exhaust he made in the last video, so if you're curious on how he did this, just go on over there. But now that we got that stainless filler, it's time to weld this thing up.
Dudes. Yesterday my brother and I got the exhaust all finished up. Today I'm actually working on getting the brake lines all finished, but I don't think we showed what the exhaust looked like all finished up, so let me show you that real quick.
As you saw yesterday, I got all this stuff welded up. We actually just ended up bolting the Borla XR1 straight to the bend pieces that come up over the cross member, and then it goes straight to the tips. So it was actually way more straightforward than I thought it was going to end up being.
So now that the exhaust is all finished up, I'm gonna get started on some of the brake line stuff right now. This right here is everything to go from the frame rail to the radius arm with the soft line. So I have all the fittings and nuts and tabs and everything that I need right here. This is gonna be the part number for the bulkhead fittings. We have the nut right here, and then we also have the tabs. They come in a pack of 2, and then all I do is just cut them down the center, and then they'll work as a single. And then this right here is what we'll actually have all said and done once it's all together. So it'll sit something like this in the truck, and then off of each fitting, it's gonna be hardline down the frame rail and then hardline down the radius arm to the caliper. So I'll show you in the truck exactly what I'm talking about once this is all set up inside of there.
So I just got the driver's side soft line all tacked up inside of the frame and on the radius arm. The reason I'm doing it like this is because the hard line will come down the frame rail right here on the inside, connect to the bulkhead fitting. The soft line will go around here where the radius arm is actually moving the most, and then it just gives it a little bit of flex so it can contour and go to the same angles as the radius arm while it's going throughout the travel. And then it's going to go hard line down the radius arm up to a fitting right up here, and then that's going to connect into this soft line that goes to the caliper itself. Originally, when the truck was stock, the brake line would go from the master cylinder all the way up there, come down to the frame rail to a hole, and then it would poke through the frame and it would have a soft line that went all the way to the caliper. The only issue with that is when you go to a wider beam set and you're pulling way more travel than stock, the soft line that comes from the frame rail to the caliper becomes so long that when you're turning or when you go up to bump, when the truck is at full compression, the brake line could actually hit the tire, which is not good. It can cause rips and tears and all that stuff. So this is way more clean to do it this way down the radius arm, and then it's also just preventing a lot of issues down the road. So it's currently next day. I don't know what happened. I just forgot to record what I finished yesterday. We got the soft lines all in place, both sides of the rear axle. We got those other ones done on the front as well. Now, I'm waiting to get all the parts for the hard lines for the brake lines right now. So in the meantime, I got the front bumper off the truck. I'm gonna get started on making a skid plate for this. I'm using some 1/4" aluminum to make the skid plate itself. I need to make a template first that's gonna fit the shape of the skid plate. So let's get started with that. Little cutting, little grinding. We got the skid plate fitting pretty good. Now I just need to get these tabs onto the bumper itself, just tacked up there so I can figure out where the holes are gonna go in the skid plate. I'm gonna do a hole here, one in the center down at the bottom, and then obviously 2 more on that side. I was thinking about putting one up in the center up here, but there's really no point because if the skid plate ever does hit anything, it's more than likely gonna be down here. So the top one is just kind of pointless. It's just another tab to add on there. I was just sitting here working on the skid plate and I heard the UPS guy show up. We just got a package from Tyler over at CarTech, so let's see what we got. So I ordered this stuff yesterday and it's already here. It's a PCI intercom setup. This intercom itself is set up for 4 headsets. Tyler got me set up with just 3, obviously just because it's a 3-seat truck, so I only need 3 of them. These headsets are really, really nice. I can't wait to use these things. We got that, and then we also got a -6 bulkhead fitting, which I'll show you what we need this for right now. So this fuel-safe fuel cell came with a pickup line, a vent tube, and then obviously the filler neck that goes into the tank. I need to add
this -6 bulkhead into this plate right here for the return line. Apparently Fuel Safe started making these fuel cells without the return line on them. So I need to drill a hole probably somewhere right here, add this bulkhead to it, and then off the fuel rail on the motor I need to add a line that comes all the way back to here for the return. Then obviously the pickup will go back to the motor, to the fuel rail. So need to drill a hole for that at some point and then get that in there.
We just got the skid plate all fitted. Right now we're just using some mock-up bolts to hold it on. We're gonna end up having to get some legit bolts for it, which we also do need to get for this and this as well, and for the whole skid plate down here. We're gonna have to make a run to Marshall's, which is where we usually get like a lot of bolts. We go to Ace over here just for like small stuff, but if we're doing like a big run of stuff, we usually go to Marshall's. As far as paint and everything goes with this, the skid plate itself is gonna end up being powder coated. And then the whole bumper assembly is going to be Line-X, so it's going to be Line-X and then powder coat. That's just what we're thinking right now. And as far as hardware for this, we're not sure what we're going to run. It's not going to be just a bolt head like this. It'll be something clean. Like on this truck, it's running a countersunk Allen, which is kind of what I want to do, but Christian has a few other ideas of what he wants to do on this. Off camera, Christian got the side mirrors off, as well as the door panels, and that's just to get everything ready for the new stuff. We haven't ordered it yet, but we're going to be doing that soon. And also, we got this product from Solo Motorsports, which goes on under this door latch right here. And it just rivets in and it strengthens this whole kind of area by just adding an overlay plate. So we can do that now that the door panel's off, and we're also gonna be switching to some metal door panels because these plastic ones break super easily. Unfortunately, Christian can't really work on the brake lines right now because we're waiting for a flare tool, which we got one before, but it's for normal steel brake line, and we have stainless steel. So we had to buy a new one, and it's still on the way. It's been at least a few days since we ordered it, and it's still not here. So that's holding up the whole brake line progress. But as soon as that gets here, Christian's gonna get back to that and get all that wrapped up. It'll probably take him around like a few days to a week to do the whole brake system on the truck, but that'll all be in the next video. So that's gonna be it for this one. We got the exhaust done. Christian got started on the soft line for the brakes. And you also got the front bumper all wrapped up. If you guys are liking these videos, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.